Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, the Hut. Welcome back to the Baseball Hut, and hopefully you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. So record this video, and hopefully you had good turkey or whatever you had. Great stuffing, mashed potatoes, great dessert. But obviously, this is about the Mets, this video, and obviously Jeff McNeil is of interest in this video because I'm going to lay the cards out on the table. He's getting traded. I said that he was going to get traded after the season. Even before the season, I said they were going to move him. And as you know, they've broken up this core of players that they've had here really since 2019. They've added players, They added Francisco Lindor. They added Juan Soto last year. But they needed a change for quite a few years. This group had been together for a very long time. And now they have the ability to do that, and they're doing that now. And McNeil is the next shoe to drop. I expect him to drop probably within the next 10 days. I expect him to get moved just due to the fact that he's older, and the Mets have a lot of young players that need to play in his place. Now, they've made this trade for Brandon Nimmo. They brought in Marcus Semien. I want to point out something. The people that are still upset about the Nimmo deal. Over the course of their careers, who's a better player? Thank you. Who's a better player? Who's won? Who hasn't won? Marcus Semien, and I know he had a down year. I know he's 35 years old. But 3 times in his career, he finished third in the MVP vote in the American League. Brandon Nimmo's never done that. I would also mention Marcus Semien can be a little inconsistent offensively in his career. He's been like that his whole career. Just look at the numbers, and you'll see it. Now, people are bringing up the fact that he's 35. Well, he's put up a lot of big numbers over the last few years. He's over 30. And like I said, he is one. And the one thing this group has not done is won. And he's a gamer, plays hard. And we know that Nimmo played hard and was a good clutch hitter at times, but he's very streaky. Now, you're putting a player who has over 250 home runs in his career, who's been a second baseman the last 6-7 years. And that is a big difference over a guy who's had 130 home runs as an outfielder. That's a major improvement. There's more talent there. Let's brought in some talent. It's older talent, but it's talent. Give him a chance. Don't be bitching and moaning about it. Okay, you look ridiculous, a lot of people. When they start complaining about these trades. Did the Mets want Brandon Nimmo? No. Is he a great guy? Yes. But we got to look at this team and be very tough on this team. And that's why I've been the dark hut for the last few months now. But here we have Jeff McNeil, who I've said that needed to be gone a few years ago to help this team's attitude a little bit. And there have been teams coming out who could be interested. AI has said he's going to get traded to Houston. We'll see about that. Houston, I don't know what's going on down there. SI.com put out an article, and this is an overview. John Heyman put out an article, I guess. New York Mets could trade Jeff McNeil to these teams. The Mets likely aren't done shaking up their roster this offseason. Well, they need to do more moves. And I've said this in other videos. Don't be surprised if Pete Alonso's not here anymore. Don't be surprised if Edwin Diaz isn't here anymore. Because like I said, this group has been together since 2019 with some additions. New York Mets already traded one lineup mainstay in Brandon Nimmo and could potentially deal another regular this offseason. The versatile Jeff McNeil has been drawing trade interest, and the Mets appear open to dealing him. They've been wanting to deal him for a while. According to the Scott Boras whisperer John Heyman of the New York Post, the Seattle Mariners and Pittsburgh Pirates are possible landing spots for McNeil. Now, the Pirates are new. I've talked a lot about the Mariners for a long time. They've liked him since the Edwin Diaz trade / Robbie Cano deal. McNeil could replace free agent Jorge Polanco as the Mariners' second baseman. He'd also bring a veteran presence to a Pittsburgh team that is in need of offense. So he's got 2 benefits there. McNeil's coming off a mostly solid offensive season. 2025 is entering the final year of his contract of $15.75 million. It's not a bad contract. The 1 year of control, a 2027 club option, makes him more movable this winter. Now, I didn't think McNeil had a good year. A lot of people made a big deal saying he had a good year. I did not think that way. I did not think he had a good year, and I did not like the fact that he's bat fifth in this lineup, sixth in this lineup, sometimes clean up. Really care for that. The Mets acquired Marcus Semien from the Rangers in exchange for Nimmo, which displaces McNeil as the everyday starting second baseman. McNeil can also play all three outfield spots, but the Mets look destined to fill their two outfield holes with other players. Top prospect Carson Benz is the candidate to take over in center, and highly coveted free agents Kyle Tucker and Cody Bellinger fit in left field. I expect a big outfielder here. I expect Tucker or Bellinger here. And who knows what else. This isn't the first time the Mets have discussed trading McNeil. Back in the 2021-22 offseason, the Mets were shopping him around after a disappointing campaign. They instead kept him, and he responded by winning the National League batting title in 2022. Again, he was almost traded in between 2018 and 2019. And he did not get moved because Brody Van Wagenen got brushed back from a lot of fans online. He backed out of that part of the deal. However, McNeil produced inconsistent seasons in 2023 and 2024. Last year, the 33-year-old hit .243 with .335 on-base percentage, .411 slugging. That's not great. That's not good. Sorry. It's not great. The .746 OPS, 12 home runs and 54 RBIs in 122 games. But McNeil struggled in the final month of the season due to a shoulder issue that he later received thoracic outlet syndrome surgery following the campaign. I guess that was the problem with the shoulder, I guess. And that doesn't seem to be a problem in terms of him getting traded. He's not a pitcher, so that shouldn't be a problem. In a world where the Mets are unable to ship McNeil, he could potentially factor in at first base. That's not happening, folks. All the people that I used to get all those kind of messages. Talked about a particular player. The people would write me, "That's not happening," like a lunatic. That's not happening. He's never going to play first for the New York Mets. Even the Mets bring back Pete Alonso, he's expected to receive more at-bats as a DH, which would open the door for McNeil and possibly Mark Vientos. So that's not happening either. Mark Vientos isn't going to be here. I'd be shocked if he was. That being said, it feels like a split between the Mets and McNeil is on the horizon, especially after the Semien trade. The Mets and President of Baseball Operations David Stearns are focused on improving their run prevention, which means upgrading the pitching and defense. Acquiring Semien brings Gold Glove defense to the second base position. Now, a couple of things about, also go back to Semien real quick. He played 122 games, 127 games. I guess he had an injury. So that could have been why his numbers were down. Because the 3 previous years, he had over 20 home runs. He had 16 past year. So it might be because of the missed time that his numbers were down a little bit. But anyway, McNeil has been a very good Met here. Obviously won a batting title. At one point, he was over 300 in his career with the Mets for quite a while. His first 1,000 at-bats. But he is very inconsistent. And it goes to the inconsistencies of this group. Brandon Nimmo is inconsistent. Jeff McNeil is inconsistent. Okay? You can't have all these everyday players being this inconsistent. Because what you're going to find is when everybody's inconsistent, and that happens. Lineups have these down moments in a season. You can't have them all down. That's what's so weird about this, has been about this group in this lineup, is when one guy is down, they're all down. It's the weirdest thing. And we know that Francisco Lindor can be very up and down. He's especially at the beginning of the seasons, as we know. But I expect McNeil to be gone. The Astros I've talked about, the AI said that. Now we have the Pirates, although the Mets would have to eat some of that money. And of course the Mariners. The Mariners are, I think, it's probably my opinion where he's going to go. That's where I think he's going to go, most likely. And who knows who else? Maybe the A's, players that play multiple positions like he does and play them well enough, have value. Now people are going to say, well, he hit 240, you're never going to be able to move him. That's not happening. It's going to happen. You got the Hut's guarantee on that one, folks. He's going to get moved, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they get back for him. He has no place to play now, second base. Quite a few middle infielders don't have that spot now. Jet Williams doesn't. And quite a few people are going to be out of here. Let's have a lot of middle infielders. They have a lot of players of value that need to go. You want them on the 40-man roster or not? You want them in there in spring training or not? And it's really going to come down to this team has not won. It needs to move on. It needs to stop getting their players in the right direction, all together in the right direction. And this is not a situation where these are bad guys. It's just that it's only business. It's only business. You know, as my voice starts to return. But Jeff McNeil's been a good Met. And he's the second Met to win a batting title, but it's time to go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, so long, farewell. That's how it goes. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Check out merchandise. As you know, we've got Black Friday coming. And, of course, wonderful weekend. You can keep shopping. Please check out all the stuff I have on there. Please send me a super thanks. It's a great way to support the channel. Every little bit you send me goes into the channel. And, of course, improve audio, video. That's where it goes. So do that for me, please. And, of course, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.